All right, part two continuing of Marge. So I ended off in this area, umbrella cut that, and then moving over to here, finishing off the front. Over here it's just going to be a little bit of bed prep. Weeds aren't too bad. Mulch install, no trimming or anything like that. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, and that's it for basically the front. Now moving on to the big part of it, which being the backyard. So this is the type of stone we're gonna bring in. It's like that, might be a 3/8 inch red tipple, I think it is. I'll have to double check. But that's what we're looking for. I think it's 3/8 inch. Maybe half inch, one or the other. So again, you can come down this way. There's one step out front, but then you got a couple steps here. Really there's the issue with the steps there, so it might be easier to come in through there when you're bringing in the stone. For the bulk of it, for this bed, you can come in through this side, just run the wheelbarrows here and here and toss the stone in. So anyway, so getting into it back here, so basically want to kind of lightly clean up the existing stone, just smack out the weeds, probably just with a string trimmer is fine. Just be careful not to toss a bunch of rocks. And then I would spray the area or preen it or whatever. Now all this wooded area behind them is all theirs as well. So they said everything that we have, we can dump out there. So you can open up this gate and you can run stuff. They said you probably will need to just take a string trimmer. They say you don't got to go super far, but maybe take a string trimmer, clear out a little bit of a path, and then just dump somewhere back there. Again, don't got to go crazy far back. It goes back about maybe 100 feet. There's a fence back there, which is the back of their property, but nothing crazy. So one of the line items of work is going to be basically all the stuff growing along the fence here. They just want it just cut. So I don't know if it's easier to walk back there, or if it's easier to just kind of hang over the fence and smack it. Again, just looking like a foot or two off of the fence line. Just anything that's starting to grow through the fence, they want cut, and they want that process done through the whole gate, the whole fence running along the backyard. So, might be easier to just kind of hang over with a string trimmer while you're in the yard here, rather than walking back there. Who knows what's going on back there, and then just hanging a string trimmer or a brush cutter or whatever over and just cutting it. And then maybe when you're done, take a blower and just kind of blow it off of the fence line if it's hitting there. Careful of this thing. I got a bunch of bottles here. Might want to move that before we start getting the equipment out. All right, so moving over to here. So all this white stone, they want this out, so haul it away. Again, you can dump it back there, and then the red stone will go here. This whole bed here, no trimming or anything. There's one tear out that we're going to do the best you can, cutting it down low. This small guy in the center here, get rid of that. All the rest you can rake out. And so what I told her is we'll blow out all the debris and leaves and stuff like that. We'll cut out all the weedy growth, spray it, preen it, whatever. And then I would dig down maybe an inch or two, inch or two of the old mulch, and get rid of it, and then put the red stone on top of it. Try to go heavy with the red stone. There's already fabric everywhere, so we're not going to put new fabric anywhere. But if we just whack it out real good, rake out some of the mulch an inch or two down, and then pile in the stone. Ideally, you want to dig this down a little bit so that we can get pretty thick with the stone to help with any weeds coming up or anything. You can see their stone is that they have in the existing area. It's pretty deep. It's from what I can tell, at least a couple inches thick. So that's what's going on there. All the mulch out, all the red stone in there, and that's basically what's going to be going on. Again, big portion of work here. Cautious of the pool is back here, so you're going to blow out all these debris. You're going to get rid of a lot of this mulch. I mean, honestly, you could even, when you're raking out that mulch, you could just toss it over your shoulder into the woods here, rather than putting it in a wheelbarrow and wheeling it out. Just shovel it and throw it out there. We're just looking to remove some of the mulch, so again, that we can bring in a couple inches worth of that red stone. So anyway, blow out this whole area so that the grassies will stay. The rhododendron here will stay. There's a rhododendron there will stay. All this other like weedy stuff poking up, you can whack all that out. All this you can whack out. There's another rhododendron in here, dark leaf, leave that alone. There's a liripe, leave that alone. Basically the plants, leave alone, leave that alone. Weed, yak out all the leaves and stuff. You could probably blast a lot of it with a blower, honestly, even through the gate. There's some weedy stuff in here, rip out. Leave this alone from a trimming standpoint. While we're doing that fence thing, maybe that big weed tree one, just because I did bring it up, maybe just cut it and let it fall back there. Yeah, this whole area. So this thing growing onto this, you can leave it alone. This, they said they want gone. If it's a weed or plant or what, but they want it gone. This one, there's some weedy stuff in there you can yank out. And then some of the like dead stuff you can hand cut out and leave it be. This one, a little bit of those dead branches you can just trim out. Most of it just leave alone though. Moving over to here. So you can leave that. That dark green leaf, you can leave that. That viney growing here, you can get rid of that. Careful, this is the only poison ivy I noticed on the property, is this one right here. This fuzzy one going here with the 3 leaves, so just be cautious of that when you do cut it out. He said he'll be here too if you're like in question about something, but I think they wanted like all this stuff gone, cut it all out, bust it all out, all this cut out. There's a grassy here you can leave, grassy here you can leave. There's a rose bush in there, obviously leave. Tall grasses all here you can leave alone. This one, just do a little light trim just to get it off of their patio. Light trimming here to get off the patio. And then again, like this whole area, getting the mulch out a little bit and dumping the stone in there. And then all here, got a couple weeds to yank out, no trimming anything here. They just, this one, there's not really much mulch. You can see the fabric is already there. Throw some stone in there. They asked if we can just take a weed whacker and cut a little bit of this stuff that's starting to grow into his walkway, cut that out. And then this whole area, we're not going to do stone here. We kind of went back and forth. It sounds like the husband said don't worry about stone, but if we can just weed out this area, you know, if we have extra mulch, maybe if they want to do it, but I'm just going to leave it out. I'm just going to put it as weeding, just weed it out and then leave the rest alone. And then coming to the last bit here. So that's the beginning of the video, is this area that I talked about, weeding out that. And then the last bit will be over here. Just break out the debris and leaves and such, no trimming or anything, and then a little bit of fresh mulch in here. And that's it.